Here we are, the beginning of a new year. With a new year can come new confidence. And I want to help you overcome your fear in business English. Hi, I'm Grant. And if you don't know me, I'm an executive business English coach. I've been helping CEOs for years be able to communicate confidently in English. And through those private coaching sessions, I've learned how I can help them build their confidence. And I'm here to help you build your confidence. I'm really a confidence coach, trying to help you change your life by becoming confident in English so you can do anything you want in life. Let's make this the year you really build your confidence. You ever feel frozen in meetings or afraid to speak English at work? I want to help you turn that fear into confidence this year. The first thing you have to do is acknowledge the fear, like why it happens. Why are you feeling this? And I really think there's three big reasons why it happens, and they're all different fears. One is a fear of making mistakes. Another one's a fear of being judged. And the last is a fear of not being understood. And, and and everybody feels these. And in general, those are, if I were to combine them, I'd say, wow, that's kind of a fear of not looking stupid in front of people. And nobody wants that. And it's a great big fear in business because that's the last thing you want. And that's a big thing that so many different people are scared about. In fact, I have a client. My client's name is Mary. Mary was born and raised in a European country, and she's not a native English speaker. Her English is good. I really like her English. But she had a big meeting in London, and she had to speak with some native English speakers about business. And as she was preparing for this meeting, she shared her fear about this. And she was scared, like really scared about this meeting. And basically, it's a fear of not looking smart in front of other people. And so we talked quite a bit about that. And basically, it was just let go, focus on your message, let go, stop worrying about making mistakes, and everything can work out really well for you. But you just have to remember that even people that have really good English, they still have this same fear. Some of us might not have very good English and we have big fear. But even if you have good English, you still have that fear. It's really normal. What can you do about this? Well, I think a big thing you can do is shift your mindset. And what I mean by that is start looking at mistakes as big opportunities for growth. There's a great quote by Henry Ford who said, "The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing." Now, that's a great quote. And you have to realize that native speakers make mistakes all day long. I make mistakes every day speaking English. And if you look around with all the native speakers that you're surrounded by, you see them, you watch them, they make mistakes, you make mistakes. It's really normal. So just accept it that we can make mistakes and we can learn from them and move forward, but don't get all upset about it and don't feel down and don't let it, crush your confidence. And that's what happens a lot of times. People make mistakes and they feel so terrible about it. But you don't feel terrible about your mistakes in your native language. So don't feel terrible about them in English. It's okay. What you really have to do is focus on communication, not perfection. The, the goal here is that you're trying to communicate a message from you to the other person. That other person needs your message. This is business. You're trying to provide a message to somebody and they really want to understand it. So focus on the message and don't focus on being perfect. And I've said this a lot of times before, but it's really true. If you focus on communicating your message, you're really going to build your confidence. If you focus on trying to be perfect, your confidence is going to go like this. It's really, really difficult. Let me give you a couple strategies of how you can build your confidence. One of the easiest strategies is to practice in situations where there's very low pressure and put yourself in that situation. And let's call it role playing. And one of the easiest ways to do this is I've made a lot of videos about business conversations, a lot of them, hours of them. And this is a great opportunity for you to go find some of those videos. We'll list a couple of them down below. But some of those videos, and I go through business conversations. Why do I do that? Because I want you to use these videos. I'm not just making videos, I'm trying to help you. And you can go through and practice speaking. Follow the video. I say it, you say it. And it really works well if you'll spend the time doing it. Your key is you've got to speak out loud. You got to start feeling that confidence when you do that. But it really, really works well. The more you practice, the more confidence you're going to have. It's simple. It really is. Next, I want you to use a couple of go-to phrases and start becoming comfortable with some phrases that are simple and really useful. And they help reduce your stress, and especially at times when you've got to make decisions and you're thinking and speaking in English. Let me give you some examples of how you can do that. So one example of a phrase would be, could you repeat that, please? Now, this is a great phrase. Even if you did understand it and you asked the person, could you repeat that, please? It gives you a little time to think in English, to speak in English, to communicate. It's a really great phrase to get comfortable with. Instead of, what? Could you repeat that, please? It works beautifully. Another phrase you can use to really help you is, let me clarify my point. Now, here's another way that you're able to say your message again, maybe using some different words, and then really focusing on what the clear message is. Not the grammar, not the perfect English, just focus on the message. Let me clarify my point. And it gives you an opportunity to say the same thing again, but using different words. We do this all the time in our native language, but we're kind of scared to do it in English. Really use it. It works. Another phrase to use is, I agree, because, and then give some reasons why. Now, this is really powerful because you're connecting with somebody. They said something, I agree. Oh, we're on the same page here. And then you can give your because, and then add some more information to it and create even a better understanding of whatever it is. And give your message using your company and really be able to build on something that you both agree on. It works great. What else can you do to be able to build confidence? Another strategy is to use what I call the power of the pause. And of course, I've made a video about this. But by putting pauses into your speaking, it gives you time, it gives you confidence to be able to go slow, to really emphasize your point. And it takes a lot of pressure off because when you pause, you can breathe. You can take your time. But you have to practice pausing. And what you'll see is when you practice it, it's effective. The most important point we would like to make today is pause, pause, pause. And then they're like, what is it? And then you give your most important point, and they're really listening to your point. So practice pausing when you speak. It's a fantastic way to help build your confidence. Let's create a little plan. What are you going to do? How are you going to make this happen? Well, the first thing you've got to do is be able to just set small daily goals. And you have to do this consistently. So don't try right off the bat to create big, giant goals. Start with 2 minutes a day and just speak. Speak out loud 2 minutes a day about work topics. I ask you many times to record yourself speaking. You don't have to do that, but you should sometimes. But just speak out loud about work topics and get used to speaking about your work in English. It works. I do this with my clients all the time. The next thing you can do is to learn 2 phrases a day and use those in sentences. And I call this my deep learning method. And I've been through hundreds, probably thousands of words now with you. Of here's a phrase, here's some example sentences. I challenge you to use that phrase in your own example sentence and say it all out loud. Well, do that same thing. Use my videos to really help you and learn new phrases. And then you can practice one meeting scenario every week. And again, if you take any of these videos I've made, where there's lots and lots of different business conversation and meetings, and you're able to speak. Use those videos. Speak with me. I speak, you speak. It works beautifully. So go ahead and do that. So here's your year. You've got a brand new year ahead of you. Confidence doesn't happen overnight. It's built one small step at a time. And this year, I want you to make a promise to yourself. I want you to face your fears, speak up, and let your voice be heard loud and proud. I want you to put in the comments where your biggest fears are in English. I would love to hear this. You put your biggest fears in, and I'll make some videos about it. It'd be great. So don't be afraid. Share your fears because it's okay to make mistakes. Let's just learn from them and move on. It's a fantastic way to go about this. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share your comments, and I also invite you to learn your Business English Confidence Score. You'll find the link in the description below this video.